evening.
Of course, I was so sad, but the only positive I took out of that is I'd never, even in my wildest dream, ever dreamed that one day I'll be nominated in FIFA. So when I saw my name amongst the best players in the world, your Messi, your Neymars, I was shocked. I was just happy to see my name there with those guys. And for me, I would believe that it was a dream come true, really, to be nominated in that space. But obviously, when you're there, you just wanna see yourself winning, obviously, because I believe when I look at the goal, I think it deserved to be a winner on that day. But it didn't win, but it didn't demoralize me either because it was just a dream, to be honest.
The VAR Show. The one place for your weekly football update.
Hola, very warm welcome to the VAR show, the show which talks about all the various major football leagues in detail. Today we are going to continue a theme of interviews and we have the captain of Mamelodi Sundowns, Mr. Hlompho Kekana with us. So for our listeners, Mr. Kekana has won numerous South African Champions League. He has also won CAF Championship, that is the Champions League of Africa. He has also won the CAF Super Cup, which is equivalent to the UEFA Super Cup, and he was also nominated for the FIFA Puskás Award for the goal he scored against Cameroon. So, on that note, without wasting much time, I'd like to first thank Mr. Kekana for coming on the show. Thank you and welcome to the show. And I would like to begin by asking you, how are you and what are you doing these days?
Thanks for having me, and I'm 100% at the moment. I'm healthy and I'm just happy to be back at training.
So, you as a professional, you have played for very big clubs in South Africa. Be it with Mamelodi, be it with SuperSport, or various other teams like, Black Leopards. They're very big teams. How has the journey been for you?
Well, I would say, to be honest, the journey wasn't smooth, wasn't as easy as I made it to be. But I just thank God for the opportunity that He managed to keep me safe out of injuries. And for all these years, I've managed to try and work hard for the opportunity that I've been given by all the coaches that I've worked with. And obviously the club, by giving me the opportunities to really showcase my talent. To start by, when I was a 17-year-old, I joined Black Leopards, and it wasn't easy for me. It was a scary chapter in my life because I just come from a school and joined the team in the Premier League, which I regarded myself as a very, very lucky kid at the time, because not many kids will jump from a school tournament to a professional league. So it was just a dream for me, and I really, really appreciated that opportunity. And look at me now. I'm the captain of Mamelodi Sundowns, the team that has just won so many trophies.
So, you say it has not been easy. So, what was the most difficult thing for you, growing up from a teenage, competing in school competitions to maybe captaining the most successful side of the last 5 years in South Africa?
Well, I would say, firstly, when you're young, obviously, there's so many things that are happening in your life. First of all, you have to deal with the fame. You have to deal with how you deal with friends. You have to deal with the pressure that you have to perform every time. You have to deal with, in my case, I had school. So there's so many things that I had to deal with as a very young boy. So, like I said, I was so fortunate to really, really find a balance in whatever I tried to do at that age. And obviously, so many mistakes and lessons that I took out of that journey. The senior guys were there to really guide me in that process, and I've managed to work while knowing there is people who are really encouraging me to not give up. And there was a weight that they took off my shoulders. I should just concentrate on my playing, and I did that. Worked so hard towards football, worked so hard in my weaknesses of the game, worked so hard in my weaknesses as a person, and that helped me to really be the person that I am. I've managed to move from the team that I just joined to the team called SuperSport, which at that time they just won the league in South Africa. So that was a huge move for me to change from that team that I was playing for, which I played for 4 full years, and then I moved to a bigger club, which I believe at that time they've just won the league, and it was another chapter in my life that I really cherished a lot. So yeah.
So, like you said that you had to find balance between, school, education and sports and even fame. And I see nowadays, like it's all over the world where, young guys, boys, who leave school and they neglect school to play football. How important is education, for a development of a player?
I think the school is very important. I would say that the education is very important to individuals, and every kid deserve to be educated and deserve education, to be honest, because that is a foundation of being a human being. It teaches you how to handle situations. Some situations they don't really have to teach you at home. You just have to learn through the experiences that you went through in education, obviously. And there's certain lessons that I took at school, which I believe I still use in my life right now. And some lessons, I would say, the lessons that you don't even need a teacher to teach you. You just have to experience those lessons while you're still at school. So I would say it makes your mind fresher and makes your mind to think out of the box. You're not going to be a stereotype when you're educated. You're not going to be a normal person. You just are going to think out of the box. You're going to be kind. You're going to be thinking about what is the next person thinking about, the life that we're living in, and you want to improve the situation around you because you know what it takes, what it means for you to be in that space. So I believe education is important to every kid in South Africa, every kid in the world, every kid in Africa, because look, we need more leaders in our world today, because a lot of things that are going wrong. You can see that some people are just doing things out of illiteracy. So it's just sad to see, but I believe with the generation that are coming, we have to improve the environment that we're living in, because it's important for our kids to live in an environment where it's pure and it's fresh for everybody and equally so.
So like I'll move back to football, and you are 35 years old and you have possibly won everything possible at club level at South Africa. So what keeps you going even at this age?
Well, personally, I would say is the love of the game, is the things that I've promised myself or when I was a kid, and it's the reminder really when I was a kid playing in the streets in the village that I come from. That drives me a lot, because all I ever wanted to do was to play football in this level. For me, when I'm in this level, I then tend to cherish every moment that comes our way, every training session. I don't take anything for granted, because I know what it meant for me when I was still a kid, wanted to play in this level. So I always try to embrace every moment, try to enjoy every moment that is as I still have given the opportunity to do so. And at the same time, I have a family that is so supportive in my career, and ever since I started playing football, they have been there for me, and my friends always, obviously, because they always push me to do the things that I never thought I would do them, and I always try to give myself to the game more than my personal glory out of the game. So I try by all means to do more for people whom in me they believe.
So staying with that theme itself, you have played your entire career at South Africa with various clubs. Did you ever
Yeah,
feel like let's try a league outside South Africa, maybe in Europe or something?
for sure. Yeah, it's everybody dream, every player's dream to play abroad. One of my dreams when I was still a kid was to play abroad, and I must say it has been my dream all of these years to try and go and play overseas. It's just that I didn't get that opportunity to go and showcase my talent elsewhere. But with my career, with the years that I've played in South Africa till today, I'm just grateful with with an amount of work that I've managed to put in. Obviously, year in, year out, yeah, every match, every training session, to make sure and to really prove that this is what I wanted to do all my years. And yeah, it was just unfortunate that I didn't have that I didn't get that opportunity to go and showcase my talent elsewhere abroad. But with the opportunities that I still have here, at least I'm playing for a team that still play in the continent. We can play Champions League that is going to take us to North Africa, West Africa. So I can't complain about that, but just to enjoy this moment and make sure that I have a story to tell one day.
So moving on from that, and you are one of the best long range shooters, if not the best in the world. What is the best goal you have scored from a long range?
Well, I have two goals that I've scored. I remember the one I scored in Limbe in Cameroon with the national team. The goal that was even nominated to go to FIFA Puskás Award. That for me was just out of this world, to be honest. When I look at the video, even today, I still don't believe that it was me who scored that goal. I would look and watch that video over and over again because it was a beautiful goal to score from that range. And the other one that I scored was in against Orlando Pirates, one of the biggest team in South Africa and Africa. Here at home in our domestic league, where I scored from a center line, which I believe also it was one of the best goals that I've ever scored. And for me, with these goals, I would believe it's something that I really worked so hard even when I was still a kid. Watching players score from outside of the box, and I admired that. And when I saw them coming out in the match, in the big matches, well, it gives me pleasure. Yeah.
So do you feel sad that you did not win the Puskas Award?
Of course, I was so sad. But the only positive I took out of that is I never even in my wildest dream ever dreamed that one day I'll be nominated in FIFA. So when I saw my name amongst the best players in the world, your Messi, your Neymars, I was shocked. I was just happy to see my name there with those guys. And for me, I would believe that it was a dream come true really to be nominated in that space. But obviously, when you're there, you just wanna see yourself winning. Obviously, because I believe when I look at the goal, I think it deserved to be a winner on that day. But it didn't win, but it didn't demoralize me either because it was just a dream. To be honest.
So how did you get so good at long range shooting?
Obviously, it requires a lot of practice, a lot of training, a lot of practice. You have to practice every day because, as they say, practice makes perfect. You can get it perfect, but you just have to work on it because even if you train every day, there's still a moment where you think you'd score and you don't score because that's football. It works that way. So it never, regardless of that, you just have to make sure that you practice that every day because once you perfect it, it's always in your mind. You don't have to think about it. You just have to do it whenever you're in the situation. But if one thing I would tell any kid about the shooting or any technique in football, you just have to practice and practice and practice.
So growing up, which footballer did you look up to?
Well, I had so many footballers that I really looked up to because I just loved football. Football has been my life. I enjoyed playing football more than anything that I could ever think of as a kid. So I would watch any footballer which I believe plays similar position as mine. Because I remember there was a player in Real Madrid called Fernando Redondo, was a midfielder as well. There is Sebastian Veron, there is Clyde Makelele, there is Patrick Vieira, there is Paul Scholes, there is Frank Lampard. You know, there's a lot of midfielders that I admired as a kid, and I believed they play similar as me, and I didn't have a favorite really because when I looked at them, I just got the pleasure and to look forward to go and play the way they did last night.
So I'll talk about your club, and you have with Mamelodi, and you have won a lot of trophies, a lot of league titles, and the CAF Champions League. But what is your favorite moment from the time you have been here?
Well, I would say it's when we won the Champions League, really, to be honest, because Champions League for the team like Mamelodi Sundowns was a dream that we really wanted to achieve. So when we went to the finals, really we thought, wow, if we win the final, we might as well win the trophy. And to be honest, when we won the trophy, it was a very, very special moment because we then gave ourselves an opportunity to go to a FIFA Club World Cup, which was in Japan, and at the same time we gave ourselves an opportunity to even be in the Super Cup. So for us as players, we were so excited with the opportunity. We were so excited. I think the best moment was to lift that trophy in Alexandria in Egypt. I must say it was a very special moment for me, obviously, and for the club, and obviously the rest of the players which were there. They were so delighted with the moment.
So you, Mamelodi as a club, you all won the Champions League, and you'll represent South Africa. But South Africa in recent years, they have not been doing good. Compared to before, maybe during the World Cup, where how much they performed. What do you think is missing from the game in South Africa?
I would say it's the consistency of our players, maybe, and obviously in how we handle the changing of coaches in the national team, because at that time they play a huge role because one coach will come with his different philosophy and bring different players than they were 2 years ago. So we don't have that consistency of putting similar players in one national team that will sustain us for 1, 2, 3, 4 years. We know that those players will carry the national team for that period. So there's no way they can gel with other because they are playing with other for the longest time, so they will understand each other. So when we change everything. We change the structure, we change the players. So it's difficult for new players to join, for gel to the new philosophy of the new coach. So from my personal opinion, I believe it's when we change a lot of things in the national team. So it causes a lot of confusion to players and a lot of confusion to obviously to the public, because we don't know which philosophy we fall into.
So like you made your debut right after the World Cup the next year. Do you feel sad that you did not get a chance to play in the World Cup in your home country?
Yeah, sure. I was so sad because um, at that time my team SuperSport we were just won the league in here in South Africa. So I believed maybe that year, because we did very well as a team, few of our players deserved to be in the national team. So I personally wanted to be in the national team that will play in a World Cup, but unfortunately it wasn't a chance for me. But yeah, I believe the team at that time, they did very, very well for the country, and we were so proud of them. And yeah, what can I say? I was just happy to be part of the celebration. Really.
So like moving on from that topic, and after you finish playing your career, do you plan to get into coaching?
I would think so. I would love to be involved in football, because I believe there's young players which are in football, which needs guidance really in their journey in football, and it's through people like myself, who has been in the game for longest time, who can try and show them the way really, because obviously this, like I said, the road is not going to be smooth. You have to have things that are going to distract you in the way, but once you have somebody who's going to guide you through those challenges, it's going to be easier for any individual to tackle the situation. So I would want to be involved in football, and at the same time knowing that very well that I talk and help the younger ones.
So like how you want to be an influence to future kids, which coach was the most influential in your career?
Well, I had a coach at school when I was still a 14-year-old, by the name of Jerry Ramatlale. So Jerry used to believe in my ability as a footballer more than I could ever imagine myself. So he would tell every coach he meets that I have a superstar in the making, and this kid is going places. So as a kid, you then be scared of the remarks, because you don't know what is he saying about you. Because when he say he's superstar in the making, you already think, wow, this guy is putting me under pressure. I don't even think I'm that good for him to even say those words. But I would say after understanding what he was saying, after understanding what he meant, he made my life really easier, because I had to change my mentality and think the way I'll have to make it, because for you to make it, I believe it started in my mind. So I made sure my mind was clear, and the things that I wanted to achieve was clear. So for me, I think the game became so easier, because I remembered the things that Coach Jerry used to tell me, that you have to be at your best every time, and I always try to be at my best every time.
So like you are also, I think, known as the engine of Mamelodi Sundowns. How do you
Yeah.
like if you had to describe a midfielder for a younger player, if you had to say him, okay, these are the qualities required to be a good
Yeah.
midfielder, what would you say the player?
Well, as a midfielder, I think just need a good pass. You just have to have a good pass, technique of your pass. Second of all, you need to read the game properly, and in the midfield it's always compact. There's a lot of people around. You need to understand your space. You need to make sure your conditions your endurance is okay, because you have to run a lot of the time, because in the midfield you have to make sure you cover a lot of distance. But once you have your pass, once you have your conditions, once you have your understanding of your game, I think you have your game in under control. But more than anything, you just have to be humble enough to understand that there's certain things you cannot get them right, but you have to learn every time and allow your mind to learn new things.
So on that note, if you had to choose one moment from your career, which will be very difficult, but if you had to choose one moment from your career which is the most standout moment, which one would that be for you?
Is when I went to CAF World Cup. That was the best moment ever.
Why?
Because when we got there, we got different teams of all the continents. So we went there. There was Real Madrid. We went there. There was team from South America. We went there. There was a team from Asia. So I believe it was the moment where every player, I would say, would want to be in that space. For the treatment, the environment was new, was different to what we are always facing in our league. And yeah, it felt like we're in a different league, a different new game model. So for us, we really enjoyed every moment that we've spent in the Club World Cup.
So on that note, I'll ask you one last question. Whom do you prefer tomorrow? If as a captain you had the option to have one of the two players in your team, whom would you take, Ronaldo or Messi?
Well, I would say it's a difficult one. Okay, I'll choose Messi for two reasons. So as I choose Messi, I would choose Messi because Messi can easily make the team tick. He can pass the ball. He knows how to assist. He can pass. He can score. So I would choose Messi because he's got individual brilliance a lot in him. Because he's just talented like that.
Okay, I'll make it easier for you. If you had to choose one player out of these two African stars, Sadio Mane or Mohamed Salah, whom would you choose?
No, that's a difficult one. I'll choose them. I'll choose both. I'll choose both. That's a difficult one. Man. I'll choose both.
So I'll let that one go. And on that note, Hlompho Kekana, thank you so much for talking to me, and I wish you all the best for your future. Hope you can win the league 3 times in a row. Hope you can play the World Cup, with South Africa. Take them there, play, and hopefully you can win the Puskas Award. Hopefully in the future.
Thank you so
Take
much.
care, stay safe. Thank you
so
for coming. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.